The United Kingdom finds itself grappling with a confluence of economic challenges. Inflation has soared to levels not seen in decades. Energy prices have reached unprecedented heights. The cost of living crisis is squeezing households and businesses alike. The UK economy, once a beacon of stability and growth, is facing strong headwinds. The aftershocks of the COVID-19 pandemic, coupled with the ongoing conflict in Ukraine, have created a perfect storm of economic uncertainty. Supply chain disruptions, labor shortages, and geopolitical tensions are all contributing to the current economic malaise. The International Monetary Fund has warned that the UK is on track for the slowest growth among major economies in 2023. The IMF projects that the UK economy will contract by 0.6% this year, a stark contrast to the projected growth of 1.4% for the global economy. The UK's economic woes are a stark reminder of the interconnectedness of the global economy and the challenges of navigating a rapidly changing world. The winter of 2024 to 2025 will be etched in the memories of many Britons as a season of hardship. An unusually harsh winter, coupled with geopolitical tensions, sent energy prices soaring to unprecedented levels. The cost of heating homes and powering businesses became a significant burden for families and enterprises across the country. The energy crisis exposed the UK's reliance on natural gas for heating and electricity generation. The UK's energy infrastructure, heavily dependent on gas-fired power plants, proved ill-equipped to handle the surge in demand during the prolonged cold snap. The crisis underscored the urgent need for the UK to diversify its energy sources and invest in renewable energy infrastructure. The soaring energy prices had a ripple effect throughout the economy. The cost of transportation, manufacturing, and food production all increased, fueling inflation and eroding consumer purchasing power. The energy crisis laid bare the vulnerability of the UK's economy to external shocks and highlighted the need for greater energy independence and resilience. In an attempt to replenish the government's coffers, which have been severely depleted by the pandemic and the ongoing energy crisis, Chancellor Rachel Reeves has announced a comprehensive plan to raise taxes across various sectors. While the need for fiscal responsibility is undeniable, many economists argue that raising taxes during an economic downturn could stifle growth and prolong the recession. They point out that higher taxes can reduce disposable income, leading to lower consumer spending, which is a critical component of economic activity. Fiscal drag, the phenomenon where taxpayers are pushed into higher tax brackets due to inflation, is expected to exacerbate the burden on households and businesses. This occurs because as wages increase to keep up with inflation, more individuals and businesses find themselves in higher tax brackets, effectively paying more in taxes without a real increase in purchasing power. As wages rise with inflation, more people find themselves paying a larger proportion of their income in taxes. This can lead to a situation where the real income of households does not increase, even though their nominal income does. This reduction in disposable income dampens consumer spending, which is a key driver of economic growth. When consumers have less money to spend, businesses see a drop in sales, which can lead to a slowdown in economic activity. The planned tax increases have drawn significant criticism from businesses, who argue that they will discourage investment and hiring. Small businesses in particular are concerned that higher taxes will reduce their already thin profit margins, making it harder for them to survive and grow. The Confederation of British Industry, a leading business group, has warned that the tax hikes will act as a drag on growth and could lead to job losses. They argue that in a fragile economic environment, the focus should be on policies that encourage investment and job creation, rather than those that increase the tax burden. The government faces a delicate balancing act: the need to reduce the deficit while avoiding measures that could derail the fragile economic recovery. Striking the right balance is crucial, as overly aggressive tax increases could undermine the very growth that is needed to improve the fiscal situation in the long term. The challenge lies in finding a path that supports both fiscal responsibility and economic vitality. Section 4. Chancellor Reeves' Dilemma: Balancing the Books in Turbulent Times. Chancellor Rachel Reeves finds herself in the unenviable position of steering the UK economy through treacherous waters. The challenges she faces are multifaceted and complex, requiring a delicate balance of policy decisions and strategic foresight. Tasked with balancing the books while supporting a struggling economy, Reeves faces a daunting set of challenges. The COVID-19 pandemic, the energy crisis, and the ongoing conflict in Ukraine have all taken a toll on the public finances, leaving the UK with a ballooning deficit and soaring national debt. Each of these crises has its own set of repercussions, making the task of economic management even more intricate. The COVID-19 pandemic has led to unprecedented government spending to support businesses and individuals, while the energy crisis has driven up costs for households and industries alike. The conflict in Ukraine has further exacerbated economic instability, affecting global supply chains and increasing uncertainty in financial markets. These factors combined have created a perfect storm, challenging the Chancellor to find viable solutions. The Chancellor's dilemma lies in finding the right balance between fiscal responsibility and economic stimulus. On one hand, reducing the deficit and reining in government spending are crucial for long-term economic stability. This involves making tough decisions about where to cut spending and how to manage public finances effectively. On one hand, reducing the deficit and reining in government spending are crucial for long-term economic stability. This involves making tough decisions about where to cut spending and how to manage public finances effectively. On the other hand, withdrawing fiscal support too quickly could derail the recovery and plunge the UK back into recession. The timing and scale of these measures are critical, as premature austerity could stifle growth and prolong economic hardship. On the other hand, withdrawing fiscal support too quickly could derail the recovery and plunge the UK back into recession. The timing and scale of these measures are critical, as premature austerity could stifle growth and prolong economic hardship. The Chancellor must weigh the immediate needs of the economy against the long-term goal of fiscal sustainability, a task that requires both prudence and flexibility. Reeves has signaled her commitment to fiscal prudence, outlining plans to raise taxes and reduce government borrowing. These measures are aimed at stabilizing the public finances and ensuring that the government can continue to fund essential services without resorting to excessive borrowing. However, these plans are not without controversy, as higher taxes can be unpopular and may face resistance from various sectors of society. However, she has also pledged to protect public services and provide targeted support to those most affected by the cost of living crisis. This includes measures to support low-income households, improve access to essential services, and ensure that the most vulnerable are not left behind. Balancing these commitments with the need for fiscal discipline is a delicate act, requiring careful planning and execution. The Chancellor's ability to navigate this tightrope walk will be crucial in determining the UK's economic future. Her decisions will have far-reaching implications, not only for the immediate recovery, but also for the long-term health of the economy. As she charts a course through these turbulent times, the eyes of the nation will be on her, watching to see if she can deliver on her promises and steer the UK towards a stable and prosperous future. Section 5. A mountain of debt. Public finances and the specter of unsustainability. The UK's public finances are in a precarious state, teetering on the edge of a fiscal cliff. The situation is dire and the numbers paint a grim picture. Years of low economic growth coupled with the extraordinary spending measures implemented during the pandemic have pushed government debt to levels not seen since the aftermath of World War II. The economic landscape has been reshaped, and the scars of these financial decisions are evident everywhere. The Office for Budget Responsibility, the UK's fiscal watchdog, projects that government debt will reach 100% of GDP by 2025. This projection is alarming and underscores the urgent need for fiscal reforms. The rising debt burden raises concerns about fiscal sustainability. As debt levels soar, questions about the government's ability to manage and repay this debt become more pressing. As the debt-to-GDP ratio climbs, so too does the cost of servicing that debt. Interest payments are becoming a significant portion of the national budget, diverting funds from other critical areas. Interest payments on government debt are consuming an increasingly large share of government revenue, crowding out spending on essential public services such as healthcare, education, and infrastructure. The impact is felt across the nation, with public services struggling to meet the needs of the population. The UK's credit rating, a key indicator of a country's ability to repay its debts, has been downgraded by several major credit rating agencies in recent years. This downgrade reflects the growing unease among investors and financial experts about the UK's fiscal health. This reflects growing concerns about the UK's long-term economic outlook, and its ability to manage its debt burden. The future appears uncertain, and the path to recovery is fraught with challenges. A lower credit rating makes it more expensive for the UK government to borrow money in international markets, further exacerbating the debt problem. Higher borrowing costs mean that more of the budget must be allocated to interest payments, leaving less for other vital expenditures. Policymakers are now faced with difficult decisions. Balancing the budget, reducing debt, and ensuring economic growth are all critical, yet challenging tasks. The debate over how to achieve these goals is intense and ongoing. Public sentiment is also shifting. Citizens are increasingly aware of the financial strain and are demanding more transparency and accountability from their leaders. The pressure is mounting for the government to take decisive action. Despite the challenges, there are opportunities for growth and innovation. Investing in new technologies, renewable energy, and modern infrastructure can help stimulate the economy and create a more sustainable financial future. Experts suggest that a combination of prudent fiscal management, strategic investments, and economic reforms can help the UK navigate this financial crisis. The road ahead is tough, but with careful planning and execution, it is possible to steer the country towards a more stable and prosperous future. The specter of unsustainability looms large, but with determination and strategic action, the UK can overcome these financial challenges and build a brighter future for all its citizens.